Welcome to your motorcycle horoscope, because apparently your rising moon in Sagittarius is the reason you keep buying chrome you don't need. That's right, we're diving headfirst into the comic oil slick of astrology. This time, it's all about riders. Your star sign doesn't just decide your love life or career path, it says a lot about your bike, your riding habits, and exactly what kind of chaos you bring to group rides. Each sign has its quirk, each rider has their flaws, and yes, this is gonna hurt a little. But you're here for the truth, right? Let's see what the stars, and your spark plugs, have to say. Aries, March 21st to April 19th, the full throttle hothead. You don't ride a motorcycle, you attack it. Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet of war, and it shows. Your throttle hand is basically a weapon. You ride like every green light is a drag race, and your idea of warming up the tires is a full lean in the second corner. You love power, speed, and being first. First off the line, first to pass, first to crash. You've probably owned a leader bike before learning what countersteering was. You once said, ABS is for cowards, then posted a GoFundMe from the hospital with one working thumb. Protective gear? You'll wear it, if it looks cool. But let's be honest. You've definitely ridden in a t-shirt once, just around the block. In group rides, you're the one who vanishes ahead, then gets annoyed waiting for everyone else at the next gas stop. You're allergic to following. Directions, rules, traffic laws. They're all just suggestions. And if someone tells you to slow down, you speed up just to spite them. But damn, you're fun. When you're not trying to kill yourself, you're the heartbeat of any ride, full of energy, courage, and that dumb bravery the rest of us secretly admire. You're chaos on two wheels, and somehow, it kinda works. Taurus, April 20 to May 20th, the chrome love and comfort addict. Taurus doesn't just ride for the thrill, Taurus rides for the vibes. Ruled by Venus, planet of pleasure, you're the rider who treats your bike like a luxury yacht. You don't care about lap times. You care about that plush saddle, the perfect windshield angle, and whether your floorboards are genuine leather. You're the one who walks into the dealership and says, I want something heavy, shiny, and smooth. Your dream bike isn't light. It's built like a freight train. And if it doesn't have saddlebags big enough for a full picnic and a backup Bluetooth speaker, it's not worth riding. You ride slow, but steady. You're the kind of person who takes 3 hours to plan a 2-hour ride and then actually enjoys every damn minute of it. You hate being rushed, you hate change, and God help anyone who tries to talk you into trading your beloved cruiser for something more modern. On group rides, you're dependable. You bring snacks, you got extra sunscreen. You're probably the only one who brought a rain cover and a microfiber cloth. Everyone laughs at you, until it rains, and then suddenly you're a hero. You might be stubborn, but you're also loyal, patient, and surprisingly wise. You don't chase trends, you build tradition. One chrome bolt at a time. Gemini, May 21st to June 20th. The indecisive mod addict. Ah, Gemini, the two-faced speed demon of the zodiac. 1 minute you're building a scrambler, the next you're test riding a super sport and telling everyone you found your true calling. You don't have a riding style, you have moods. And every mood comes with a new bike, new jacket, and a new Instagram bio. Ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication and chaos, you're the rider who owns 5 helmets, 4 pairs of gloves, and 3 bikes you're already thinking of selling. You talk about torque curves like you're giving a TED Talk. Then immediately forget everything while doing wheelies in a school zone. You say you ride for the freedom, but what you really love is the drama. You're the life of every group ride, until you bail at the last second because something came up. You'll plan a 2-week trip, post about it for months, and then show up on day 1 with a packed duffel, a dead GoPro, and a bike that hasn't seen a wrench in 3 oil changes. But somehow, you get away with it. You're fun, clever, unpredictable, and people love your chaotic energy. Mostly because they never know what version of you they're going to get. Geminis ride like they live. Fast, loud, and slightly distracted. Cancer, June 21st to July 22nd. The sentimental garage hermit. Cancer doesn't just ride motorcycles. Cancer bonds with them. Your bike has a name. It has a personality. You talk to it when no one's around. And God help the poor soul who suggests you sell it because that machine got you through a lot. And you will get emotional. Ruled by the moon, you're deeply tied to memory, emotion, and comfort, which means you're probably still riding the first bike you ever bought. It might be outdated, underpowered, and held together with zip ties, but it's yours, and you love it like a family member. You clean it more often than you clean your kitchen. You've written captions like, "She's not perfect, but she's mine," and meant it. You hate cold weather, rude drivers, and anyone who revs at stoplights. You ride for the peace, the solitude, and the smell of hot asphalt after rain. You probably have a scenic route to work, even if it adds 40 minutes. And when you're not riding, you're in the garage, quietly tinkering, staring at your bike like it's a wounded animal you're nursing back to health. In group rides, you're cautious, maybe a little slow. But you're the one who pulls over when someone's blinkers are acting up or checks on the rookie struggling at the back. Cancer rides like they love, tender, loyal, and a little too attached. Leo, July 23rd to August 22nd, the spotlight-hungry show-off. Leo doesn't ride to escape. Leo rides to be seen. You didn't buy a motorcycle, you bought a stage with wheels. Ruled by the sun, you radiate confidence, drama, and the deep belief that every ride is your personal victory lap. If no one notices your bike, did you even ride it? Your machine is loud. Your gear is flashier than a Vegas billboard. You've got custom paint, matching gloves, and probably a helmet with your Instagram handle on the back. Every gas station stop becomes a photo shoot. You say you hate attention, but somehow you're always parked right at the front of the meet under the only working spotlight. You don't follow trends, you start them. Everyone else wears black leather, you show up in gold mesh with reflective accents. And you'll remind them it's for visibility, even though your boots are studded and your exhaust can be heard in 3 counties. On group rides, you're the self-appointed leader. You set the pace, pick the lunch spot, and talk the most at every stop. You've probably told your life story to someone who just asked what year your bike is. But for all the theatrics, you can ride. You're bold, skilled, and fiercely loyal to your pack. Just don't expect you to be humble about it. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd, the obsessive maintenance maniac. Virgo doesn't ride motorcycles, they manage them. You're ruled by Mercury, but instead of being chaotic like Gemini, you channel that energy into precision, cleanliness, and absolutely unreasonable expectations for chain slack. Your bike is spotless, your toolkit is alphabetized, you probably know your valve clearance spec by heart, and you're not even due for an adjustment for another 6,000 miles. You torque everything to spec. You read the owner's manual just for fun. You've created a spreadsheet for oil changes, tire pressure logs, and weird sounds that need investigating. And if someone suggests just winging it, your left eye twitches so hard it resets your visor. In group rides, you're the last one to leave because you're triple checking everything. You bring extra tools, zip ties, and a multimeter just in case. If someone breaks down, you're already diagnosing it before they get their gloves off. And yes, you will silently judge the guy who lubes his chain every 6 months with cooking spray. You probably ride something reliable and underrated. A V-Strom, a CB500, maybe even a late model Triumph with the valves you've already checked twice. Nothing too flashy, just perfect. Virgo rides like they live, carefully, deliberately, and with the quiet confidence of someone who's never been stranded on the side of the road. Libra, September 23rd to October 22nd, the aesthetic over function rider. Libra doesn't choose a motorcycle, they curate it. Ruled by Venus, you're obsessed with beauty, balance, and symmetry, which means your bike looks amazing even if it barely runs. Your helmet matches your jacket matches your boots, and your boots match your Instagram grid. You've spent more time picking bar end mirrors than most people spend shopping for actual bikes. You're the type to pass on a better performing bike just because the tank shape doesn't vibe with your outfit. You don't care if it's fast as long as it photographs well. If the exhaust note sounds aggressive but not elegant, it's getting swapped. Your dream ride is a cafe racer with copper accents and a perfectly tucked seat. Bonus points if it has a vintage badge you can pretend you didn't Google the meaning of. In group rides, you're fashionably late, casually perfect, and always riding in the golden hour because that's when light hits your tank just right. You hate group photos unless you're centered, and your riding playlist is so good you once had someone follow you just to ask what you were listening to. You're indecisive as hell when picking a route, but you will stop for artful coffee breaks and take 30 pictures of your bike next to a crumbling brick wall. Libra rides like it's an art installation, and honestly, it kinda is. Scorpio, October 23rd to November 21st. The mysterious lone wolf with a dark past. Scorpio doesn't ride for fun. Scorpio rides for revenge. Or at least that's what it looks like. Ruled by Pluto and Mars, you're intense, brooding, and always look like you're either headed to a knife fight or just finished one. No one really knows where you're going, but everyone knows not to follow too close. Your bike is black, matte black, or maybe blood red with a blacked out everything else. You don't do chrome. You don't do cute. You do smoke visors, aggressive ergonomics, and exhausts that growl like a wounded beast. People think you're quiet. You're not. You're calculating. You've already judged everyone else's ride and silently ranked them in order of worthiness. You don't do group rides unless you're leading them or silently leaving them halfway through. You don't explain where you're going, you just go. And if someone tries to ride your bike, they pull back a stump. You're probably on a leader bike or custom bobber that looks like it came straight out of a post-apocalyptic biker movie. Either way, it's clean, deadly, and tuned to perfection. Just like you. Scorpio rides like a man with unfinished business. And if you're smart, you won't ask what that business is. Just nod and stay out of the left lane. Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st. The wild, wandering road philosopher. Sagittarius doesn't ride to commute. Sagittarius rides to disappear. Ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion and chaos, you're the kind of rider who wakes up at 7 a.m., checks the weather in 4 different states, and sets off with nothing but a duffel bag, a credit card, and blind optimism. You don't plan trips, you escape into them. Your bike probably has high mileage and 0 regrets. Scratches or memories, dents or badges of honor. You've been lost in the desert, stuck in the rain, and nearly hit a moose once. And you'd do it all again tomorrow. In fact, you probably will. You've got friends in every town, mostly bartenders and mechanics, and half of them still owe you a beer. You love dirt roads, twisties, foreign fuel stations, and philosophical conversations about freedom at gas stops. You talk about trading your bike for a dual sport every 6 months, but never actually do it because you're emotionally attached to your current one, even if it's actively trying to kill you. On group rides, you're the wild card, either leading the charge or nowhere to be found. You miss exits, detour constantly, and somehow always end up at the coolest diner no one knew about. Sagittarius rides like the road owes them something, and they're going to keep chasing it until they find it, or run out of gas. Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th. The no-nonsense, iron-butt overachiever. Capricorn doesn't ride because it's fun. Capricorn rides because it's efficient. Ruled by Saturn, you're disciplined, goal-driven, and just a little bit allergic to fun for fun's sake. You don't go on rides. You go on missions. And you complete them like a caffeinated GPS with a to-do list taped to the tank. Your gear, functional. Your bike, reliable. Your maintenance schedule, followed like scripture. You probably own a high-mileage tourer, an adventure bike with battle scars, or a naked bike with all the stickers removed. Bonus points if it's in gray. You didn't buy it to show off. You bought it because it works. And you intend to use it until the frame disintegrates. You've done 700 miles in one day just to test the new seat. You've memorized torque specs, fuel ranges, and the exact number of gas stations between here and anywhere. And while the rest of the group is still fumbling with their gloves, you've already fueled up, checked your oil, and recalibrated your route because you saw a 30% chance of rain 2 hours from now. Capricorns ride like they live, with purpose, precision, and a low tolerance for nonsense. You might not be the loudest in the group. You're the one they call when the plan needs to actually work. Aquarius, January 20th to February 18. The eccentric mad scientist on two wheels. Aquarius doesn't ride a motorcycle. Aquarius invents one. Ruled by Uranus, the planet of rebellion, innovation, and general weirdness, you're the rider who shows up on bike night on something no one can identify. It might be electric, it might be home-built, it might run on vegetable oil. Whatever it is, it's definitely got zip ties, a 3D printed fairing, and at least one switch labeled "Do Not Touch." You don't care about brand loyalty, resale value, or whether your handlebars make sense to anyone else. You once swapped out your mirrors for cameras and thought it was a pretty standard mod. Your helmet is modular, Bluetooth connected, and possibly solar powered. You probably own a sidecar, but not for a dog or a passenger, just for the vibe. In group rides, you're the wild card. You might show up on a hubless custom. You might not show up at all. You don't follow routes, you follow energies. And when someone asks what bike you recommend, you start a 45-minute philosophical rant about post-capitalist design ethics and motorcycle manufacturing. People don't always get you, but they remember you. Because while everyone else is buying bolt-ons, you're out here prototyping the future on your garage floor. Aquarius rides like the rules don't exist. And for them, maybe they don't. Pisces, February 19 to March 20. The dreamy drifter with no schedule. Pisces doesn't ride with a map. Pisces rides with a feeling. Ruled by Neptune, you're all emotion, imagination, and escapism, which means motorcycles are more than transportation to you. They're therapy, meditation, a rolling dreamscape where you can vibe with the wind and pretend bills don't exist. You're the rider who pulls over to stare at sunsets. You name your bike something like Luna or The Whisper. You once wrote a poem about your clutch lever. Your playlist is mostly ambient lo-fi and sad indie ballads, and you will cry on a scenic overlook if the vibes are strong enough. In group rides, you're either 10 minutes late or already gone. No one can ever tell. You disappear down a side road just because it looked kinda magical, then reappear hours later covered in dust with a half-eaten granola bar and a story about a deer you almost made eye contact with. You're not interested in specs or top speed. You care how the ride feels. You ride like water, flowing, unbothered, and occasionally hydroplaning. Maintenance? Well, you meant to change the oil last month, you just forgot. Again. Pisces rides like a daydream, with handlebars, and somehow, that soft, soulful chaos is exactly what keeps him on the road. So, did the stars call you out? Or did they gently remind you that yes, you are the kind of rider who names your bike Shadowfang and revs it at crosswalks? Whether you're a chrome-polishing Taurus, a thrill-chasing Aries, or a dreamy Pisces with a rustling chain and a heart full of poems, one thing's for sure. Your riding style isn't just in your garage, it's written in the stars. Motorcycles reveal who we are. Astrology just adds a little glitter to the grease. Let me know in the comments, did I get your sign right? Or do you secretly ride like a Scorpio no matter what your birth chart says? See you in the next one, and until then, keep the rubber side down.